Good morning. I'm Denise Dryden doing my weekly sort of information videos on different ways that overwhelm, sensitivity, energetic reactions can come up and what we can do about those. I've been coaching for about 25 years, mostly creatives and sensitives, and sort of helping them normalize, helping myself normalize what might be going on. So today I'm bringing you great tools for inner clarity. There are two tools that are just phenomenal. So I want to start first with, have you ever been stumped? I feel this. I have an inkling, my spidey sense, or everything's pointing towards that, and you go into sort of a swirl. And so an example might be that, you're watching your son and he's got a change in behavior, and it's like, that's not usual. Or an event happens, there might be a lot of emergency vehicles around in your area and it kind of scares you, right? Or the thoughts in your head jump to, if I don't go to this meeting, they're not going to let me join, or they're going to kick me out, right? And it's when our little, our brain, our detective is noticed that something is up and it starts to spin. And it spins, and it spins, and it spins, okay? And I love this. This is the messenger card of the mind, which is, all of a sudden our mind starts freaking out and starts putting all sorts of overwhelm signals and messages into our body, okay? And what it can do is it can initiate a little bit of fight or flight, a little bit of avoidance, a lot of avoidance where you want to run away, or freeze, where you just go into an inner numb and you're in this panic, like, I don't know what to do. So we can call it overwhelm, or we can call it spinning. I call it swirling. It's when the swirling starts to happen and I can't ground and I can't find myself. I become indecisive. I fall into self-doubt. And I can give in like, just you do that, or I'm not gonna pursue this right now. It takes too much energy, right? And so that's what I've experienced with overwhelm. And some of those symptoms are exactly the same with the clients that I work with, okay? So if you feel something and there's this start to swirl, what happens is your body goes into this reaction with you, like, oh no, there's fear, there's panic. I feel out of control, and the mind starts to go, I have absolutely no control over any of this. And other people, sounds, activities, they all make it worse. And so it makes sense that a lot of times when we're in overwhelm, we're nasty, mean, sort of like sharp, biting people, because if our head looks like this, what do you think we look like on the outside, or what's our interaction with others, right? So overwhelm can, when you see this in a child of yours, when you see this in a partner of yours, when you see this in yourself, you can go, I think I'm swirling. I'm feeling something. I'm in overwhelm. So, we can face it and sort of ease it and use some tools, right? Or we can deny it and watch it spin faster and faster and faster, right? So this is the Wheel of Fortune card, which is a major arcana. And all of the chaos is on the outside. And each layer as you go through the wheel becomes quieter and quieter. So you can see that there's a lot of movement on the outside. And then as it gets into the four elements, as it gets into the center where the yin and the yang is, it becomes a lot slower. And so I often think that this is what it looks like when we're in overwhelm, right? Our mind plays tricks on us. And it's trying to figure out, when you're out here, the mind's in control. And when you're over here, the mind's like, don't worry, I got this. And overwhelm doesn't really, it isn't something you can think your way out of, right? So what we do is we thank the mind, like, yeah, I know you want to stay in control, and I know that you got this, but I'm going to shift down into my body, into my field, into my heart intelligence, where I know that I have more power, where I have more ability to calm this down. So I have this two-step process that happens that I use when it's swirling, and that I coach, so that we can drop down into our solar plexus, into our heart, into the place where it really matters, right? And then from that perspective, we have the ability to see calmly. So these tools build our empathic and our intuitive skills, and they build our self-trust. And let's see, we can use these tools as much as minute by minute, hour by hour, daily, and because they actually work well, they just, you start to realize that you don't even have to go through the whole process yet. So let me walk you through those two, because as promised, I always provide you tools as part of this video, okay? So first, recognize that you're in overwhelm, right? That this isn't about being right or wrong or good or bad. You're not a horrible person because this happens. It just means that you're in a swirl. It means that things are going really, 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 really fast on the outside. And you go, okay, so I'm swirling. That's the most important thing you can say. Number one, I'm swirling. I'm in overwhelm. Number two, imagine, and I think each of you may have someone in your life that does this. Imagine a friend or a parent, or try to keep it outside of yourself, someone that you've actually watched who has many, many things to do. They've taken on too much. They've taken on too many responsibilities. They might be in charge of a major family meal or an event that they planned, or something where they think that they have it, but they haven't delegated. And they need to be in control of everything because they won't give it away. And so all of these things are stacking up around them, and they're frustrated and they're angry, and what should be a very fun, maybe Thanksgiving dinner is turning into mom being pissed off in the kitchen because there's a lot of things to do. That's just a traditional view that I've seen on so many family systems. And moms were smiling like, I'm going to get through this. I just need to get the food on the table, right? So what we want to do is we want to process that. Like, that is what it looks like when there's too many things going on the outside and there's overwhelm. That's it. So you just use that image, like there's just too much, and I want to be in control, and I don't know how to delegate, right? So then the next thing, the number three, after you have this image, you're like, oh, I need to slow this down. So what you do is you find a place to sit or stand or settle, and you bring your breath in and your awareness into the inhalations and the exhalations of your lungs, because that is really the only thing that's going to slow you down is breath work. And so again, you go in and you go out with your solar plexus. You fill your lungs until your heart rate, until your stress level starts to come down. Now, I've done this in meetings. I've done this in face-to-face coaching sessions, especially when I'm dealing with family dynamics where it's really starting to get hot. I slow down, and without even, like marking it to anybody else around, I'm just leveling my breath out so that it stays calm. Okay? Because you want to slow everything down. You want to slow down so that you're here in your body, right? And now, so we've talked about breath work tons of times. However, we can't really use this next tool until our breath is calm. So number 4 is that you use this muscle testing, right? Whether it's this, where you hook this finger and this finger inside, and you find out in muscle testing what's a yes, what's a no. Body as a pendulum. You can also do this, which is you push just past the knuckle and below the nail bed, right? And if it holds, you find out what that means. And if it collapses, you find out what that means. So you use the yes, no's. And you ask direct questions. You go right straight after it. Is this real? Is what I'm experiencing, is this real what I'm seeing? Yes or no? Yes. Is he using? Yes. Is he avoiding me? Yes. Is he hiding something? Yes. From me? Yes. From somebody else? Yes. And you're like, oh, okay, now I know what's going on. I have some clarity that I didn't have before. So the first thing you do is, like, someone's yelling at you, is this person really mad at me? No. Are they mad? Yes. And so what we do is we clarify, we get right straight to the point of it, boom, with yes or no's by asking a very direct question, and then we go deeper. Is this something I need to pay attention to? Is this something I need to be concerned about? Am I missing something? And is it in my highest interest to address this now? So sometimes what we might find out is, yes, you've been confirmed on every level. Yes, the behavior has changed. Yes, something's going on. Yes, this person is really angry. Is it something you need to pay attention to? No. And you're like, you mean I can just put it down and be done with it? Yeah. Is it in my highest interest to address this? No. And sometimes when I get a maybe, like there's a very firm yes for me and a very firm no, but sometimes there's something in there, it's like not yet. And then I'll say not yet, yes. Okay, so then we can do timelines. Today, yes. This afternoon, yes. This morning, no. This evening, no. Okay, so sometime this afternoon I need to address this. And so what we end up doing is being able to laser in some clarity. And I love, this is the Magician card in the Osho deck, which is where she sits and she talks to herself and she talks to the universe and she talks to her intuition and she gets her own ideas of what she needs to do. This is inner clarity, right? And it comes from this power. This is the King of Wands. This is that powerful breathing that settles everything, and then you use your clarity in order to provide information of who you are. So what we do is we harness all of our body, we harness our field, our heart energy, and we partner with it. And then what we do is we bring ourselves out of this swirl and we bring ourselves into clarity, and then we know what to do. So I've been able to do this with my children and like go into an old trigger with them and catch my breath and come back and say, this is something I need to worry about right now. No. Okay, then just let it go. And then it's like, whew, just let it go. Focus on something else. So this is probably one of the best tools that I've been teaching for the last 5 years. You can go back in videos and see, body as a pendulum, yes and no's, how to use breath. These are things that we've been building, but now I've put them together for you and shown you how to just like bam, bam. When something happens, first, you lower your breath down into stability. Second, you validate yourself using your field, not your brain. The last piece, which is the most important, is you always thank your brain for being the one that sort of caught it, which is, literally if your brain looked like this, don't you think that it'd be really important to be kind to this brain? Because this brain is sort of a little out of touch with self-compassion, with love. So what we do is we thank the brain for bringing something to our attention, and then we deal with it with clarity. Thank you so much for watching this. You can subscribe, you can like, you can find me on my website at DeniseDrydenCoaching.com. And if you would like some help with this, I'm always available. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.